So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're going to start in seated position. We're going to do a little bit more work, just offering some suggestions, because I'm not the only one that has aches and pains in the shoulders and the neck. We've always discussed I hold my stress through my shoulder blades. So, we hold stress in different areas, but I can give you some tips, because certainly I did a lot of research since I'm having some neck discomfort today. So we're going to work through a little bit more warming up. It's still going to be a flow because it is still Tuesday morning. And we're gonna practice through a couple of different things today. We're gonna try some variations with child's pose. And we've practiced with eagle arms several times. We're gonna do standing eagle too. We all know that eagle pose with the arms really opens up the back shoulder blades and the upper shoulders, and feels really good to release. So we're gonna work on the standing posture. So we'll be adding the legs. So the legs, you kind of cross one over the other, bend into it like chair pose, and then hook the toes around the back of the leg. We'll warm into it. So for now, let's join each other in our seated posture, finding those sit bones, really checking in with our alignment. I know we talk about that, and that's part of what maybe I dislike about virtual yoga, is that I can't see you guys. Because I love to be able to cue, making sure that you're holding your upper body strong and confidently so that the rest of the body flows through it. So even though I may be having some neck discomfort today, I also don't want to overcompensate with other parts of my body. So I want to make sure the whole body is in alignment, make sure I'm not ignoring any part of the body. So with that, let's just review. So coming into your seated posture, if it feels better to release the legs in front of you, do what works for you. If it feels good to have a blanket or a block or a pillow underneath your hips to elevate, grab that too. Do what works for you. What feels good in your body? So that's part of our centering. I want you to really check in with how you're feeling today. And as we are finding our sit bones, just really feel the connection of those hip bones, the bones in our hips that we sit on. Feel the connection. So even if you have to move the booty out of the way just a tiny bit, slide it out of the way so that you can really feel that foundation and that grounding of the sit bones connected with the earth. And then from that, let that be your foundation. So feel the sides of the feet, if they're cross-legged, connected. But really, your foundation is going to be your sit bones in this posture. And from that, really lengthen the spine. So almost feel like from the crown of the head that there's a string attached and someone is gently pulling that string up towards the sky. So if you imagine a string coming from the crown of the head and someone's pulling it, naturally my chin lowers just a little bit, which really opens up that very top of the spine. And it feels good on my jerky neck. So from that, I start to lengthen the spine as you're reaching the top of the head up towards the earth, not bringing the chin all the way to the chest, just lowering just a tiny bit to bring length. And then checking in, drawing those shoulders over the hips, and checking in with the ears. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And that gives us a nice long spine and a firm foundation. So palms can be placed down on the knees as we get centered, or if you're ready to start receiving the energy around you, the energy that you're helping to create for yourself, if you're ready to just greet the day, then I would invite the palms facing up. So just kind of scanning the body, checking your alignment, crown of the head lifted, string pulling you up towards the sky, chin released just a tiny bit to open up the top of the neck, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Really release the shoulders away from the ears and just notice how it feels. So allow the shoulders to float up slightly and then really release them down and notice how that feels. You might have to draw the belly button in towards the backbone just a little bit to feel like you have stability here. Soften the skin of the face, release the jaw, breathe naturally. Just notice your natural breath this morning. Feel the cool air passing over the skin. See if you can feel the cool air on the in-breath through the nose. And maybe a warmth as you exhale. We're still kind of first thing in the morning. If it feels good to inhale through the nose and open the mouth and sigh it out, kind of gets rid of some of that stale air, and it just feels good. It helps bring in, sometimes it's hard to get full breaths in through the nose, long, slow exhales first thing in the morning. So maybe just take a deep breath in through the nose, filling the stomach, expanding the ribs, sipping into the chest, and then opening the mouth and sigh it out. And maybe invite that a couple more times. One more time, inhale through the nose, and then open the mouth to sigh it out. Softly and gently release those shoulders. Release the jaw, and then bring the breath back to neutral. And start noticing from the top of the head, scanning the body all the way to the bottoms of the feet, and noticing how the body feels, noticing how the mind feels today. Notice how the spirit feels today. Check in with each of them individually. Notice where you're holding any tension. So right now, I actually feel like I'm holding a little bit too tightly in the hips. So as you notice where you're bringing tension into the body, try and soften and release without losing the alignment. And then check in mentally. Do you find it hard to focus today? Are you feeling a little bit untethered or distracted? Is it hard to focus on this next 45 minutes? Just focusing on yourself and your well-being, your health. Try to notice without judging. And then checking in with the spirit. Checking in with the intuition. Notice if there's some conflict there, or maybe there's just a gentleness and an openness. So if we're noticing limitations in our physical body today, or limitations in our mental body today, maybe let some of it go. As we exhale, breathe into those physical limitations. And on the inhale, breathe in the gratitude for everything the physical body can do for us. And same with the mental. If we are feeling a little bit untethered or anxious today, that's natural. We have different days. Not all days are easy days. So go gentle with yourself. Notice, recognize it, and then try to let some of those feelings or those emotions that are not serving you, try and release them away. One more deep breath, in through the nose, fill the stomach, expand the ribs, sip into the chest, hold at the top. Long, slow exhale to release. So draining from the chest, the ribs, taking your time with your stomach, really draw that belly button in towards the backbone. Always keeping the alignment, holding at the bottom, and only releasing into a natural breath when your body says that it must. And as you come into the natural breath, inviting gratitude for our ability to breathe. I know we are surrounded by the conversation of breath, And really the only time we don't know, or the only time that we notice that breath is when we struggle with the breath. And then we realize the importance of it. And knowing that there's so much conversation around breath right now. Just take a few moments and give gratitude for everything that the body can do without us consciously thinking about it. Knowing that we can sit here together, connected together, even virtually, exchanging energy with one another, and knowing that that breath creates stillness, and that stillness creates the pause, and that pause helps us to respond. It helps us to listen, to understand, which helps us to respond with more love and peace and justice. So wiggling the fingers and toes, bringing awareness back to your space. Maybe changing the direction of your legs. And let's start working on the neck and the shoulders. So beginning just maybe bringing lightly the fingertips right in front of, right at the top of the shins. So never any pressure on the knees. And still sitting on the sit bones, but really, and keeping the sit bones connected, but maybe releasing the chin towards the chest and scooping the pelvis just a little bit. So we're releasing back off of the sit bones just a little bit. The sit bones are still connected, but we're releasing back. So I can feel the opening in my shoulders and shoulder blades here. My chin is released slightly towards the chest, but not all the way. And then on the next inhale, leaning forward. So rocking on the sit bones, that's a good description. So rocking, never leaving the sit bones, but rocking. And so the elbows here are pressing into the inner thigh, opening the chest, opening the heart, releasing the chin up towards the sky, and always listening to the body. So if there's any discomfort there, maybe don't go so deeply. Don't let the ego guide you. Maybe remind me of that when I do my next personal training. And then on the next exhale, slowly release the chin to the chest and rock back on the sit bones. Inhale, coming forward, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And then softly coming back to neutral, opening up the arms. So inhale, open for our seated cow pose. Exhale, rounding, really start to exaggerate this. So it is our seated cat pose, but really knowing, even though we're seated, as you exhale and you start releasing that air from the lungs, you can really play with how the arms move to open up the shoulders here, releasing the chin towards the chest, scooping the pelvis under, and then flowing with your breath. So inhale, looking up towards the sky, opening the heart, opening the chest. Exhaling for cat. And whatever feels good in the body. So right now I'm just kind of moving the arms from side to side, still rounded, but it feels really good releasing that discomfort in the shoulders. And then one more time each direction. Inhale, open for cow, and exhale, rounding. And then release all the way back to your neutral position. And again, switching the direction of the legs as it feels good. So inhale, sweeping the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center, thumbs to the heart, reminding us we are all connected by no mistake. Press the palms together. So maybe just start pressing the palms together and feeling the difference. So feeling the arms engaged and activated. Pressing the palms together, my elbows kind of float up just a little bit. And then slowly releasing the fingertips forward, warming up the wrists. Maybe the fingertips turn in towards the body, releasing the elbows out away from the body a little bit. And then maybe coming into reverse prayer. Back of the hands together, and then just maybe slowly lower the wrists. And then bringing the palms together, pressing the palms together, keeping those thumbs connected with the heart. Feeling the engagement, the energy, drawing that energy in. One more deep breath. Exhale, slowly release. Release the hands down. And then inhale, sweep the right arm up and over. Left hand is planted on the earth. Slowly stretching, opening up the sides, reaching the fingertips away from the body. And then flowing side to side. So switching sides now, left arm is reaching up and over. Sit bones are connected, shoulders released away from the ears. Soften the jaw, continue the breath. Really try and flow with the breath. So on the exhale, maybe reaching towards the right. Inhale, reaching towards, oh, I just did that opposite. So flow with your breath. Inhale towards the left. Exhale to the right. One more time each side. And then coming to neutral. So I'm just going to turn on my mat a little bit. We're finding the sit bones still, and then stepping the feet almost mat width to do a really slow windshield wiper here. So fingertips are pointed towards the body, hands release behind the body, but the fingertips in towards the hips. So still having the sit bones connected, but maybe rocked away from them just a little bit. And then slowly lower the knees off to the left-hand side. Shoulders are still released away from the ears. So we don't want to dump here. We don't want to soften the back. We still want to have an open heart and open chest here. Maybe engage the core just a little bit. And then play with the idea of looking out over the right. Continue with the deep inhales and exhales. One more breath. And then slowly release everything back to neutral. Tuck those knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. So one arm over the other. Release the chin to the chest. Slow inhales and exhales. And then release the feet back to almost mat width apart. Hands release behind the body. Slowly lower the knees to the right hand side, keeping that chest and heart open. And then as you feel ready, slowly looking out over the left. Long, slow inhales and exhales. One more breath. And then slowly release back to neutral. Extend the legs out long. Find those sit bones, even if that means you need to move everything out of the way. Inhale, release the arms up and over. Fingertips are engaged and really energized here. Hinging at the hips. Coming into a seated forward fold. Reach the arms away from the body. Fingertips really engaged away from the body. And then slowly release. Notice the shoulders here. It's natural for the shoulders to float near the ears. Think about intentionally releasing them away. Nice long spine. So think about the crown of the head. Think about that string being pulled from the crown of the head, away from the body. Nice long spine. Sit bones connected. And then if it would feel good from here, then round the body down. Chin towards the chest. Releasing. Opening those shoulders, opening the shoulder blades. And then slowly rolling all the way back up. So planting the feet, knees are pointed up. Hands release behind the body, fingertips in towards the hips. Slowly start to come into your reverse table. So hips come up high. to the mat. Shoulders released. Raise the hips up. Continue the breath. One more breath. Long, slow exhale to release. Crossing the legs in front of you. And then bringing the body forward. Knees together. So we're coming into our child's pose variations. So just opening up that chest and the heart with the reverse table. And then slowly with the knees together. So this is more of the traditional child's pose. A lot of times we do extended with the knees out. So we're going to have knees together today. Bottom is released to the heels. And then draw the forehead towards the mat. If this doesn't feel good, always inviting a blanket or a pillow underneath the forehead, or even just keeping the hips raised high. So with the arms draped next to the side, take 2 more deep breaths here. Still making allowing the spine to be long here. So release those shoulders. Try not to let them slump too much. And then slowly take the back of the right hand to the small of the back. And then the back of the left hand right on top of the right palm. Shoulders released. Deep breaths in through the nose, long, slow exhales. And then clasping hands with yourself, sending the fists away from the body. So release those shoulders. Soften the jaw. If it feels good, maybe play with the idea of raising the fists up away from the body, up towards the sky. Still releasing those shoulders though. One more deep breath in. Long, slow exhale. Release the arms, draping them next to the side for 1 breath. And then slowly release the arms in front. Forehead is still connected with the mat. And just notice how this stretch changes. So traditionally the arms are draped next to the side when we have the knees together and release the hips down. So connect the fingertips and palms here. And then play with the idea of tinting the hands. So just fingertips connected, and notice the difference in the stretch there. One more deep breath in through the nose. Long, slow exhale to release. Draw the arms back towards the body and release all the way up. And then just roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Already feels like a little inversion. So coming into the tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees. Release the right arm up. Square the hips towards the front of the mat. And then thread that right arm underneath the left, slowly drawing the left side of the face, or the right side of the face, towards the mat. Squaring those hips off again, and then extending left arm long. So right side of the face is released to the mat, always inviting a pillow or a blanket or a block underneath. Hips are raised high. Left arm is engaged here. Soften the jaw, continue the breath. 1 more deep breath in through the nose, long, slow exhale, release the left hand towards the face. Release away from the mat, coming back to tabletop. Release left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread that left arm under the right. Release the side of the left onto the mat. So side of the face onto the mat. Square the hips back to the front of the mat. Right arm is engaged, extended away. Deep inhales and exhales. One more deep breath. Long, slow exhale, release that right arm. And then pushing back into our tabletop. Turning the toes under. 1 handprint in front of where you are, release into your downward dog. Keep this soft though. So keeping the knees bent, slowly just pedal it out. And as we're pedaling, maybe even take an extra moment. So just releasing left heel down,
Slowly releasing the right heel down. Opening up the shoulders here. Armpits are pressed towards the mat. Nice slow exchange of the heels towards the mat. One more deep breath in through the nose. And on the exhale, look between the hands. Slowly walk the feet up towards the hands into your forward fold. Bending the knees generously. Release the head, release the neck. So you're not wanting to hold any stiffness here. Just allow the gravity to work. Maybe you're stepping your feet a little bit wider apart. Soften the shoulders. Maybe holding on to opposite elbows here and swaying slightly side to side if that feels good. Maybe hugging the backs of the knees. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Softening the head and the neck. One more breath. Long, slow exhale. Release the arms. Take your time here. Slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Ooh, I feel the inversion today. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. Setting up for our full eagle pose. We've done this before. So, I think we're going to start, we'll start with the arms. Stop anywhere it feels good to you. So extend left arm long, and then right elbow on top of left. Bring your X by bending the elbows. I tend to need to bring my right elbow forward just a little bit more to get the amount of stretch that I like. Back of the hands together. And then I'll use my left pinky and ring finger to start searching for that right thumb for eagle arms. And then because I started with the left arm forward, I'm going to cross my right leg. So you can stop right here. You can stop with the hands anywhere it feels good. And then if you're going to cross the legs, sitting back as if we're in chair pose with a cross leg. This one's hard for me to cue and balance. The lower you go in the knees, and then you can start wrapping that right foot around the back of the left leg. Long, slow inhales and exhales. If you lose balance, it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes even the instructor does. And then taking just a moment, sweep the arms up and over, finding your mountain pose. Palms pressed together, exhale to heart center. And knowing if full eagle pose doesn't work for you, just start with the legs or start with the arms. There's no wrong answer. And then inhale, I'm going to turn back towards, inhale, sweep the arms up and over one more time. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then swan dive all the way down. Bending the knees generously, stepping back with right leg long, left to meet. So lowering to the knees, you can stay in high plank. Lower the knees, be gentle with yourself, bending the elbows close to the body. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. So bring the knees out to the long edge of the mat. Release the head towards the mat. Take 2 more breaths here. Big toes meet behind. Release the hips. Inhale, coming back up. Turn the toes under, pushing into your downward dog. Stepping forward with your left foot right to meet into forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. Setting up for eagle on the other side. So right arm extended, left elbow on top. Bring the X forward, back of the hand to back of the hand. Right pinky searches for the left thumb. So you may have to move those elbows a little bit to compensate. Left leg is crossed over the right, bending into almost a chair pose. Core is engaged here, shoulders released. Shoulders released, but you can always draw those arms up. You'll feel the release of the shoulders here. Find a focal point. to help with your balance. Core is engaged. One more breath. Slowly exhale, release back to mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive down, all the way into a forward fold. Palms to the mat, so bending the knees generously, stepping back with right leg left to meet. Slowly lower to the knees. Exhale, bending the elbows close to the body. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bring the knees out to the long edge of the mat, extended child's pose. On the next exhale, turn the toes under, coming into downward dog. Inhale, step left foot forward, right to meet, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale, open wide by stepping back with the left foot. So right toes are pointed towards the front of the mat. Left toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. Hips are square to the long edge of the mat. So you may have just seen me adjust a little bit. My left hip kind of naturally went back. We want to square those hips to the long edge of the mat. Float the arms up parallel with the floor. So really wide stance here, but not so wide that you can't have your balance. Shoulders released, shoulder blades brought together. Engage the core. Slowly extend the right arm away, so forward. Really reach those right fingertips as far as they can go, and then release the right fingertips down towards the shin, sweeping the left arm up and over for triangle. So triangle really is as if your body is in between two panes of glass. Oftentimes we see people want to touch the earth here by bringing the torso forward. We really want to stay in that the two panes of glass. So release right fingertips towards the shin, sweep the left arms up and over. Shoulders release, jaws release. One more breath here. Exhale, slowly coming back up. Looking out over the right fingertips, core is engaged. Exhale, windmill the arms down, bending into that right knee. Step the right leg back long into high plank. Release to low plank. Bend those elbows, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, turn the toes under into downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward, right to meet. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. Stepping back with the right foot, big step. Left leg is straight. Square the hips off. Maybe heel toe, walk those feet away just a little bit. Left toes pointed towards the front of the mat. Sweep the arms up, parallel with the floor. Engage the core. Right toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. Look out over your left arm. Slowly allow the left fingertips to slide away from the body. Release the left fingertips towards the shin. Sweep the right arm up and over. Core stays engaged. Soften the jaw, continue the breath. If you find your torso leaning forward, draw it back. One more breath. Exhale, slowly coming back to neutral. Square those hips, looking out over the left hand. Bending into the left knee, windmill, circle the arms down, pivot on the right foot. Extend left leg long into high plank. Invite the low plank if that feels better. Slowly bending into the elbows. Inhale, sweeping up into cobra pose. Exhale, draw the knees out to the long edge of the mat. Release the hips down, extended child's pose. One more deep breath here. On the exhale, moving through tabletop, coming into cobra pose again. Release the shoulders, pressing the earth away from the body with the palms of the hands.
And then slowly exhaling, release the whole body down. One hand on top of the other, forehead released. Bending at the knees, windshield wipering slowly side to side. And then release the legs down. Keeping the one hand on top of the other and the forehead released, now start releasing the left leg out to the side. We're coming into our half frog. So bending the left knee, allowing that knee to come straight out from the hip. And then kind of squaring it off. So flexing the left foot. So think about angles here. Release that left hip down towards the earth. It may not exactly meet. Just really think about rotating that left hip towards the earth. Shoulders released away from the ears. Deep inhales and exhales. On your next exhale, slowly release, taking your time. So releasing the legs slowly behind, return it back to neutral. Checking in, feeling the two hip bones, the front of the hip bones connected with the earth. And then slowly on the next exhale, release the right leg out to the side. So right knee coming straight out from that right hip. Release the right hip towards the ground. Flex the right foot. Create your angles here. Soften the jaw. Deepen the breath. With each exhale, try to release that right hip bone down towards the earth a little bit more. On your next exhale, slowly release the right leg back to neutral. And then sweeping the arms next to the body. Forehead connected with the mat, shoulders released. Inhale, slowly lifting the chest. If it feels good, engage the arms so that the fingertips are energized away from the body. If it feels good to go further, clasp the hands behind the back and then allow even deeper opening of the chest and the heart. Trying to keep the crown still released away from the body. Shoulders released. Only going as far as it feels good in your body. Maybe releasing the fists and just putting the backs of the hands at the small of the back. Maybe just keeping the arms next to the side or even connecting them with the earth. One more deep breath here. Long, slow exhale to release. One hand on top of the other. Forehead to the top of the hand. Windshield wiper back and forth. And release. Slowly sliding the hands next to the chest, elbows drawn in towards the body. Slowly drawing the body up and over, coming into our seated position again. Finding those sit bones and coming back up. Releasing the left hand behind, right hand, crossing the midline to the left knee, just above the left knee. Shoulders release, engage the core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slowly twist. Using the leverage of that left hand to release that right shoulder away from the body. Slowly looking over the left shoulder. Soften the jaw. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to neutral. Release the right hand behind. Left to the right knee, crossing that midline. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist, look out over the right shoulder. Release the right shoulder away from the ear. One more breath. Slowly release back to neutral. Extend the legs long. Coming into our seated forward fold one more time. And then maybe think back to the first one we did towards the beginning of the sequence. Find those sit bones. Inhale, lengthen the arms above the head. Energize the arms. Fingertips reaching towards the sky. Hinging at the hips. Exhale, still energizing those arms. Try to draw them near the ears. Fingertips reaching away from the body.
And then slowly releasing the hands towards the earth, keeping a nice long spine, drawing that crown of the head away from the body, soften the jaw, breathe. And then on your next exhale, invite the body to curl in on itself. Release the chin to the chest. See if you can make any slight movements from side to side to open up the shoulders and the shoulder blades maybe a tiny bit more. Softening the jaw. And then slowly rolling one vertebrae at a time all the way up. Scooting the hips forward, bending the knees. Planting the feet. Nice long spine here. We'll do a modified boat to release down towards the mat. Palms facing up, core is engaged. Slowly rocking away from the sit bones. Shoulders released, core is engaged. Slowly lower. So tilting that pelvis so that we're not lowering too quickly. Release the top body down. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. Maybe even a kind word this morning. Lengthening the spine, lengthening the neck. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Slowly rocking side to side. And then holding lightly just below the knees, circling in one direction and the other. Inviting a happy baby. So draw the knees in towards the armpits, using your peace fingers around your big toes. If this is not feeling good in the body, you can also release the hands and draw them right under the knees. So on the underneath of the knees. So feel the difference. Even if it does feel good, like to get your peace fingers around the big toes, maybe just play around a little bit and notice. So really release those shoulders away from the ears, lengthen the spine. Draw the hips towards the earth here to deepen the stretch. If it feels good, you can lengthen one leg at a time. Softening the jaw. And then release back to neutral. Feet are connected with the earth. Knees are pointed up towards the sky. Bring the heels in towards the hips. So let's start with just the baby bridge first. So for baby bridge, we're just releasing the shoulders, connecting the shoulder blades and the shoulders to the mat. So as you draw the shoulders away from the ears, also rotate them back towards the mat to feel that connection. Tilt the pelvis initially just to flatten the back so there's no space underneath the back and the mat. So notice how that feels. Release and just notice that the natural curve of the spine gives space underneath. And then slowly engage the core, tilt the pelvis up. So we're not lifting the hips so much as we're tilting the pelvis here. And release. Feel the different stages of the spine connected with the earth. So go to natural, and you'll feel the natural curve of the spine. And you may notice there's a little space under there. And then allow the pelvis to tilt just enough so there's no space. And then tilt the pelvis even further, engaging the core. And just flowing with your breath. Do that one more time. Inhale. And then exhale, release everything down. See if you can scoot your heels in towards your hips a little bit more. Find the four corners of your feet, big toe, little toe, heel connected with the earth. The weight of the body will be distributed from the feet and the shoulders here, not in the neck, not in the head. So on the inhale, slowly peel the hips up off of the floor. Maybe tuck the shoulders underneath just a little bit. Really activate the hips, activate the quads. Distribute the weight of the body through the feet and into the shoulders. Maybe you can hold hands with yourself underneath your bridge. If this feels too strong to you, you can flow through slowly. Just as you exhale and release, Be slow resetting your spine. And then on the inhale, peeling that spine and the hips off of the ground. 2 more deep breaths here. Slowly release 1 vertebrae at a time. Maybe come up on tiptoes so that it gives you a little more space to really feel the connection of the spine. And then draw the knees in 1 more time. Hug yourself. Open the arms out into your T. Release the knees to the right hand side. Slowly looking out over the left. Long inhales and exhales. On your next exhale, draw the knees back to neutral and reset the spine. Slowly release the knees to the left-hand side, looking out over the right. Release that right shoulder towards the ground. Gently look over to the right-hand side. One more breath here. Long, slow exhale. Draw the knees back to neutral. Reset the spine, reset the shoulders. Release the feet up towards the sky. Draw the fingertips underneath the hips. Engage the core. Flex the feet. Shoulders released. Jaw is soft. Continue the breath. And then slowly, maybe to your count of 10, lower the heels down towards the earth. As the heels start to connect with the earth, maybe inviting any last movements that would feel good in your body. Or if you're ready to prepare for Shavasana, allow the feet to naturally release, and then release the arms next to the body, palms facing up. Maybe draw the shoulders away from the ears just a little bit. See if you can make the connection of the shoulders with the earth. And then start to soften. Feel the vibration of the body in the soles of the feet. Release any tension from the tops of the feet. Release each toe one at a time. Release any tension from the lower legs, from the knees. Soften the upper legs. Release any tension from the hips. Soften the stomach. Soften the lower back. Release any tension from the shoulder blades and the upper back. Release any tension from the chest. Maybe drawing the shoulders towards the earth a little bit more. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Release the upper arms and the elbows. Soften the lower arms and the tops of the hands. Feel the vibration of your body in the palms of the hands. And release each finger one at a time. Release any tension from the neck. Soften the jaw. Release the cheeks, the ears, the nose. Release any tension from the eyes and the forehead. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, and on the exhale, release from the top of the head, closing the eyes, and releasing all the way to the bottoms of the feet. For just a few moments, I'll let you rest, and then you'll hear my voice again. As you start to hear the sound of my voice, start bringing awareness back to your space. Maybe invite movement into the fingers and toes. Maybe taking a stretch overhead. Slowly, and as you feel ready, keeping the eyes closed, slowly rolling to one side to pause. Taking just a moment and giving gratitude for everything the body's capable of. Maybe showing your body a little bit of grace when you have limitations, especially those unexpected nagging limitations. Maybe taking that as a sign to slow down, be gentle, be kind to your body. Always giving gratitude for everything that our mind is capable of, knowing that this process is just one way to create a pause, allowing us to listen to others to understand instead of to answer their questions or to get what our feelings are in. Knowing that this pause helps us to respond instead of react. All of that stillness, all of that connection with our spirit helps us to communicate from a more loving, kind place. It helps us to act with more justice. It helps us to treat others the way that we genuinely want to be respected and treated as well. Know that you are beautifully and perfectly made just the way that you are. Exactly the way that you are. Even if this is just a step in your process. Give thanks for the physical body. Give thanks for the mental body. Give thanks for that spirit of yours, knowing that the stillness helps you to connect with that intuition. You will not lead yourself astray. Give yourself the love and respect to listen. Listen to what you have to say. As you feel ready, slowly join me in a seated position to close our practice out today. Finding your alignment, finding that connection with the earth. Allowing the spine to grow long once again, release the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe invite the fingertips down to the earth. Take just a breath to feel connected before we move into the day. And then on your next inhale, open the palms up towards the sky. Inhaling, collecting this beautiful energy you help create into the palms of your hands. Exhaling all of that beautiful energy right to heart center, thumbs to the heart, to remind us we are all connected by no mistakes. By no mistakes. May you be safe today. May you be well. May you be at ease. And may you have peace. And once you recognize that safety and that wellness, once you recognize that you are a little bit more at ease and at peace, allow that to flow through you and out towards the people that you serve and the community that you encounter. Allow those feelings of ease and peace to give you confidence and strength. Allow it to help you to feel grounded and know that you can trust what that beautiful intuition of yours is saying. Thank you for joining me today. You are a blessing to me, always. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.